Hi there, I'm Kat. Let's knit together. Today, knitting with ribbon. In the past few years, knitting has become very popular, and the yarn industry is responding to this by providing new yarns of new fibers in all shapes and sizes. One of my new favorites is ribbon yarn. Look at all the kinds you can get. Railroad ribbon, which looks like railroad tracks. Multi-railroad ribbon, which is just multiple rows of tracks. Flat ribbon, similar to what you might use in sewing. Tape, which is a tube-like ribbon that's very smooth. And combinations, where you can see ribbon combined with other fibers, like in this example, where ribbon is combined with a rayon twirl, and this one, which is combined with a fur yarn. Knitting with ribbon is a little different, and here are some of the tricks that I've learned. Well, knitting a 2x2 or a 1x1 ribbing with ribbon yarn can get really twisted. So I found this technique called combination knitting in Annie Modesitt's book, Confessions of a Knitting Heretic. Now I'll show you that technique. So what you'll do is you'll knit through the back from front to back or counterclockwise. We'll do that one more time. Knit through the back from front to back and purl through the front from back to front or clockwise. Purl through the front from back to front. And then it doesn't twist as much, and as you can see, our ribbing is more smooth. Use blunt points to avoid poking holes in the ribbon. When winding ribbon yarn, put the swift on its side like a Ferris wheel. That way the ribbon doesn't fall on itself and twist. If you have a center pull ball of ribbon, put it in a yarn bra or a knee-high stocking to prevent the ribbon from collapsing upon itself. Use smooth needles to avoid pulling ribbon threads. So no matter how good you are at weaving in your ends, with ribbon yarn, you're still going to end up with little pieces sticking out. So I recommend using a needle and thread to sew down your ends and when you start a new ball of yarn. But I'm not actually going to demonstrate that because I hate to sew. Use simple stitches like stockinette or 2x2 ribbing to show off ribbon best. Drop stitch also looks fantastic with ribbon as it shows it off quite nicely. Be sure to wash and dry your swatch to determine your gauge because ribbon fibers tend to shrink or stretch after washing. When knitting with ribbon, consider combining it with other types of yarn. It can add for interesting effects. Similar to what I've done here with this scarf. I've taken this blue ribbon yarn and combined it with this purple Kid Silk Haze, and it's added a beautiful halo effect to this scarf and also softened the drape of the scarf, which would be a lot stiffer with the ribbon alone. Keeping the ribbon perfectly flat is a futile quest that will just drive you crazy. Instead, drop your work every couple of rows and untwist the ribbon, and then pick it up and start again. There are plenty of patterns available from the yarn manufacturers that sell ribbon yarns, but only a few books, and most of those don't have very many sweater patterns. There's ponchos and shawls and bags. This book, Ribbon Knits from Judi Alweil, has some really great sweater patterns I might actually feel comfortable wearing to work, like this beautiful twin set in a purple ribbon yarn. Now, most of the patterns in this book are designed with Judi & Co.'s ribbon yarn. However, I found it very easy to substitute other ribbon yarns as long as you swatch. Check out the book. So I was teaching knitting at a local craft shop, and I found this great ribbon yarn. I swatched it up using a drop stitch pattern and thought it would be great for a jacket. And we were going on a trip to Santa Fe, and I really wanted to get it done. But of course I could not find a pattern that would suit this particular yarn. So I decided to design my own using Sweater Wizard software. Well, I designed this jacket that's knitted from sleeve to sleeve and all in one piece. And it came out great and looked fabulous on the trip. Do you have a story of your knitting experience with ribbon? If so, tell us about it and leave a comment on the site. We've got some viewer comments. Tracy wrote, I've read and tried to do the cast on for 2 socks on 2 needles before. Didn't work out for me. Now that I just saw it, I'm going to try it again. Looks a lot easier in a live demonstration. Thanks, Tracy. That's what we were hoping for when we created this podcast. Knitting's a visual thing, and you can go back and replay the video at any time. On our first show, I asked what you would do about this sock. Becca wrote, I'm like you, don't like sewing, although I've bitten the bullet and don't mind Kitchenering a toe, but with your sock, I say rip back a row or 2 above the toe and re-knit. Thanks, Becca. That's what I think I'll do. We also want to thank Julie at boogajay.com for mentioning us on her blog, and a special thanks to Drew Barron and Joanne Colan from rocketboom.com for featuring us in their October 9th episode. We love your feedback and comments, so keep them coming. Bye. See you next time.